Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do your November the 21st Spiritual Principle Day in a meditation. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Okay, here we go. Discernment and group conscience. We trust and we use good sense. Living in fellowship with other addicts, we learn discernment, guiding principles, tradition two, opening, reflection. The spiritual principle of discernment, exercising good judgment, is central to practicing tradition two. In our personal recovery, we work on developing a guiding conscience in our own decision making that helps us decipher what's healthy for us and what isn't. Many of us have described that conscience as a voice in our head that tells us right from wrong. Many others say it's our loving higher power working in our lives. We bring this awareness into our groups and try to practice it there in fellowship with each other. Discernment is group conscience in action. Using it requires some common sense, experience, and hopefully clarity about what's our opinion, what's factual, and what's actually important. Some of our groups develop trust and a collective conscience over time, but we need to stay open-minded as our membership evolves. To sustain our practice of tradition two, we need unity, faith, goodwill, and even more trust. Speaking of trust, discernment helps us choose our trusted servants and guides us in our efforts to be trustworthy as we serve. We create guidelines that outline preferred qualities for particular roles in our groups. These may aid the process, but aren't the whole of it. Other circumstances that aren't on paper and still meet our need to serve the greater good may play a role in our decisions. We listen to our fellow members offer qualifications for a position, learn about each other's capacity for effective leadership, and then use discernment, expressed through our group conscience, to match talent to task. As trusted servants, we're trusted to serve the needs of our group and NA as a whole, rather than our own egos, individual opinions, and desired outcomes. To keep our leaders in check, we are each other's eyes and ears, shining light on one another's blind spots and turning up the volume when we aren't listening carefully. I am committed to serving the greater good. I aim to do so by exercising good judgment, inviting my own conscience to contribute to the groups, and letting go of the outcome. Well, that was a mouthful. Wasn't it though? Oh my goodness. I was like, oh no, they jumped onto guidelines for trusted servants. Oh, they went deep with that discernment. And it is a deep topic. Discernment and group conscience, they work together. And I'm involved with a group that I go to around 9 o'clock, and it's an interesting group, right? It's an interesting group. I try to attend it regularly. I'm very rarely able to share, but I try to attend this particular group every day. And it's interesting to watch how comfortable the home group members have become with one another. And they trust each other, even when something might go sideways, they trust one another to use their group conscience to come in and make a decision about what should or should not happen. Every now and then you have someone that goes rogue, right? But collectively, the atmosphere of recovery is maintained collectively. And you can tell the individuals that have been given the trust of the group at large, that the group trusts their discernment, the group trusts their ability to weigh out things objectionably, right? And you will hear them chime in on whatever is taking place, and it just calms the whole group right back down. But I had to giggle because there's been times I'm new to the group, and I'm trying to tell you, with my 29 years or however many months and days that I have, you can tell that I'm still considered an outsider of the home group. Because when I chime in, nothing is received the same way as these trusted members, these trusted servants, rather, that have been with this group for years now. You can tell how they treat an outsider coming in as an NA member. They can work on their inclusivity, right? Compared to the members that have proven themselves over decades with them. Now, the same thing happens with my hometown group. When I show up and something is going crazy, and I try to make sure I'm understanding, what's my opinion and what's factual and what's actually important. And for me, the newcomer is the most important person at any meeting. And I'm always going to be concerned with how the newcomer is being impacted. And sometimes overly so, because ultimately the newcomer is already making a decision on whether or not they're going to come back or not, unless they're forced, right? So it's not really too much that we could probably do wrong, but there are a few things that we could actually do wrong that will run the newcomer off. And so it's just something that I pay attention to. And it's something that I want you to pay attention to. Has your discernment developed enough? Your spiritual principle of discernment, has it developed enough where you're actually exercising it regularly, consistently, with an open mind, using the facts and knowing the difference between what you can change and what you can't change, and having the courage to change the things you can and the wisdom to know the difference? Big word there, right? I hope so. My name is MightyStream, and I've enjoyed this meditation with you today. I hope that you'll meditate on it and think about it and see how your discernment and your group conscience are going to work together with this tradition too. I'll be talking to you later. I hope in the meantime, though, until I talk to you again, that you will have a beautiful day. I intend to have one on purpose.